Hey guys, it's Camille and welcome to another video by the Circus System. So today we're going to be talking a bit about how fronting and co-fronting works. We are going to be talking more specifically obviously about our system, but it's one of those things that's a lot easier to explain on a wide scale for people who might not know or understand how it works. For some reason I'm really out of breath, sorry. I have a blanket because it's cold in my room and I have to unplug the heater to film to get my little light so that I don't look like this. So that's what that's about. What is different system to system is kind of how like a fronting room works. Some people have a physical room that their altars go into in the headspace, and that is where they're fronting. That's how it is for us. And then I know sometimes it's just like, I don't know. I have heard some people explain it where it's just like they're there all of a sudden. It's not like a room or anything. Or I know some people it's just like a black space that all like the people who are in co are in. So a lot of times you may hear systems say that someone is in co. I've said that a few times just now. Or the full term is co-conscious, which just means that there is not only one altar or one person at the front at the moment. The front just being who is actively thinking, controlling the body or trying to control the body, who's like actively up front, because if altars are not up front, they're just in the headspace and they aren't really affecting the body, and whatever they're doing in headspace is not reflective of the people who are currently active in the outer world. So like me being here right now, no one's actually in co right now, it's just me. So I have no idea what everyone else is doing right now. They don't know, and they don't know what the body's doing right now. So that is like a set thing. I, as host, this is not for everyone, but for us, as host, I am almost always at a minimum co-conscious. So I very rarely actually go into headspace. I basically chill out in the fronting room, which for us is mostly just a black space. There's a couple chairs and then like the big screen that is eyes. But whoever is like main in front doesn't see the room. So like right now I'm not seeing things through like a screen or anything, obviously. And that's not like how it works. That's just what it looks like visually. That's not like how we see things. But a good way to kind of describe how if someone is co-conscious works is it's kind of like you're in one of those cars that has two steering wheels, but only one is actually controlling the car. Entropy System used an example of like you're playing a video game and two people have a controller but only one person's playing. Like one person's controller actually works. I like that analogy too. So for us, if someone is co-conscious, usually they're aware, they're just, for us, this part is where it gets into differences. A lot of times for us, if someone's in co, they're aware they're just in co. They're just there to support or help, or they might just be chipping in unwanted comments, which they do a lot. And so for us, there's not often a power struggle with who wants to control the body. That does happen, but that's not the common for us. So what it really is it's like, well, it's like there's multiple people in your head. Wow. But it'll kind of be like I'll be doing something and I'll hear it like in the back of my head someone else say something or like make a comment about what's happening or say like, oh, you should go do this instead if they're like upset with what's happening. So that happens quite a bit. The only time for us there's ever really a power struggle happening is if someone wants to do something else. That happens a lot with like if we're doing an activity, like if I'm drawing and then someone's like, nope, we're not going to draw right now, I want to do something else. And they will like switch. I'm going to do another video on switching because that is its whole own thing. Well, maybe not me specifically. One of us is going to do a video on it. So how you like decide who's fronting is you really don't. That's why I did decide in quotes. A lot of times it can be for certain tasks. Certain alters will be designated to do certain tasks, or certain alters will just want to do certain things. So if that's happening or if that's going to happen, they will sometimes be pulled to front. Other times alters who are more like emotional alters or protectors might be drawn out because there is conflict or some kind of situation going on at the moment. And sometimes it's random. Some days it's just like, oh, I'm this person, and then random, it may seem random, usually there is a trigger and it may just seem random, but it's like, oh, I'm not them anymore, I'm someone else now. And another thing that most systems have, I've met a couple who don't have a gatekeeper, but most do. And then a gatekeeper is an alter whose task is to kind of control who's fronting, or like make sure certain people don't front in certain situations. We don't have like a designated gatekeeper at the moment, or not someone who like has said they're the gatekeeper. We kind of just as a system work together to be like, hey, like don't let this person front when this is happening. For like a while at our old job, Symphony wasn't allowed to front at work because she would just get too upset and would like get angry, and we can't have that. So we would work together to make sure she wouldn't go into the fronting room while we were at work. With being co-conscious, that I've never really noticed a specific trend with that, or like a triggering aspect with that, being more so just people wanting to be there but not wanting to be in control at the moment. It's kind of how it is for us. I will admit I'm not quite as knowledgeable on co-fronting, like the technicals behind it. With like just fronting, it's a lot more concrete. But with co, sometimes people are just chilling. Sometimes they're there for support. Sometimes if we're in a bad mood, but it's not enough to make a switch, one of our like entertaining alters will come in co just to kind of like help cheer us up. Or usually if there's a little up front, someone who is a caregiver or helps with caregiving will watch them. Will be in co to watch them. Things like that. Another thing that happens with fronting and co-fronting is you can run into, I don't know if this is the technical term, but I don't know what the technical term is, but basically feeling blurry. And it's when you just literally don't know who you are. You don't know who's up front, you don't know who's in co, you're just kind of there. And can cause lots of issues with dissociation and things like that. So a lot of times you'd hear a system say, like, I don't know who I am. And they quite literally mean that. It's like, we can't tell who's up front. No one knows. There isn't like a definite characteristic at the moment. And usually that just means there's people in co, but no one has decided to front. That happens for us a lot. We'll just be in situations where we're just kind of like coasting along because we're like, I don't know who's in control, but we need to like do a thing. That's always fun. So yeah, that's kind of a basic rundown of fronting and co-fronting, mostly with our system, but these things do carry towards others and can still help you understand other people's systems. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope this was helpful in some way, and I hope you guys had a good time at the circus. Bye.